Hello everyone, and I am back with Divinity Original Sin 2. And now I think I'll get some time to talk with my friends, especially
Ifan
Ethan.
approaches you, a drink in his hand and a wide smile on his face. He clearly feels at home in this grimy place.
Want a drink?
He grins and hands you a drink, full of good cheer.
It's really been some adventure so far, eh?
Sounds gay.
One must stop to appreciate the good moments, right? And if this isn't a good one, I don't know what is.
Ifan looks around at the Undertavern, contentment plain in his eyes.
Ah, well, plenty of drinks to be had when the world's saved. To Rivalon. Well now, how's my favorite Godwoken? Let's track down my old pack and find out who's behind the contracts to kill Godwoken.
Alright.
Can't hurt to know who wants us dead.
His eyes glitter as he stands tall to tell the story, hands
Excuse
waving
me.
expressively.
Feel sick.
You can see it's
today.
a story he's used to telling, one he enjoys weaving for an audience.
So, underneath the tavern in Driftwood, there's a place I feel right at home. A delightful little hive of scum and villainy. A few months back, I was relaxing down there after a job. Just a hint of Drudene. You know, a hint. All of a sudden, a tiger prowls in. I jump up, but everyone else is just ignoring it. And then he picks up my scent. His eyes turn blue, and he leaps to pounce on me. A fury of claws and teeth. I flip the table and start scrambling for my crossbow. Nowhere to be found. And by now, the tiger's right on top of my eyeballs. So I do the only thing I can think of. I summon Afrit, my soul wolf. And now everybody reacts. Screaming, scrambling around, pelting for the stairs. Drinks flying everywhere. And that pesky tiger? Nowhere to be seen. Turns out it was Drudene messing with me. Stronger stuff than I'm used to. Also turns out some people don't appreciate spectral wolves tearing up the place. So some people called magisters on me.
That's what's your story, man.
Well, it's guarded by a grouchy-seeming dwarf named of Papa Thrash. But he's a real sweetheart once you get to know him. I love that password of his. Open minds and closed fists. No. Heard of? Yes. He's got a lot of pets. I heard he takes them as souvenirs after every contract he fulfills. But I'll be honest with you, I don't ask too many questions about why. I don't, want to know. I'm
Okay.
from the deserts of Mezd originally. My parents died when I was very young, no more than a cub. They were spice merchants, killed by bandits as we were trading on the forest roads. The elves nearby saved me afterwards. They found me hiding in a wagon and they took me in.
Wait. Bandit kills all your family, but also...
Ifan bites his lip, hard enough to draw blood.
I understand now why I'm so in love with the elves.
They were my home until I was old enough to join the Order. Mother Melody always said I'd have a hard life. She saw it as fact, since I was born under the waxing moon.
Waxing full waning. alone sounds a lot of nonsense. I like this one, but in real life, but in Divinity, I think there is some kind of sense in it. Dark.
Ah, a mysterious one. Cool and analytical.
Ooh, I'm cool and analytical. So bad.
I've been striving my whole life to prove mine wrong. To, zero success. So far.
Ifan smirks and shakes his head.
I'll spare you the tall tales we usually tell. When a new cub joins up with the lone wolves, we interrogate them. Then, a very complex equation decides their new moniker. I don't remember all the questions, but I remember enough to give you a lone wolf name if you want one. So tell me this. Which of these scenes attracts you the most?
Dark night and filthy alleyway, and the shadow cast by light of the full moon, by felt tents in desert oases, the heat of the sun burns down upon you, alone and shaded by forest canopy, your step silenced by soft brush underfoot, anonymous in a busy city square full of hollering crowds and overpowering scents. I like this one. Masked and dressed of the nines in an opera house, moments before the curtains raises no. Say you have no interest in another moniker at this point in your life. I like this one.
Ifan nods and raises his eyebrows, a slight smile brightening his face.
And then, target in sight. What's your preferred execution method?
Savage, a hammer to the face, drinking the fear of their final moments. A droplet here, a seasoning there. Was it the bloody plugs or was it you? Unseen, you slit their throat before they even know you were there. Whether calling down elements or calling up demons, you prefer the magical touch. Darling, please, you prefer to manipulate others to do your dirty work for you.
Right.
Ifan scrawls something on a little piece of paper and hands it to you. On the page, in thick black letters, is written Bright Whip.
Not as pant-wettingly fearsome as Silverclaw, but not bad. Not bad at all. For sure. Always carry a snack.
Ifan reaches into his tunic pocket and pulls out a strip of dried raw meat. He takes a tiny bite and offers the rest to you.
Now, what else do I have to share?
Ifan rummages around the roll-down tops of his boots and grins in victory as he plucks a single mushroom from the folds.
Aha.
He hands you the mushroom with great ceremony, bowing as he holds it aloft.
I don't need mushrooms in real life. But here, I'm a lizard. What lizard? Insects? Yeah, I'm eating insects. But in the fairy tales, you can eat everything you want.
Oh, I wouldn't. This one's not for eating. But I'll tell you, it comes in handy if you're dining with someone who really needs to lose their life. And soon.
Ifan smiles and looks around before reaching high into his sleeve and pulling out a tiny herbal wrap. The unmistakable scent of Drudene hits you as he holds it out to you.
I like Drudene.
The last weapon in the lone wolf arsenal. You know, for after the toughest jobs.
He winks and tips his fingers to his temples before loping off.
Well now, how's my favorite Godwoken?
Ifan smiles and...
Alright, I need to talk with everyone because I was so selfish and didn't even ask what they think about all of this.
Just when I think this land holds no more surprises, I find myself in some place even more dismal than the last. Still, at least this is an interesting variation on dismal. How many times must I tell you? I have business in the Black Pits. We should head to the excavation site there. ignorant. I dare say I have a better knowledge of this world than any creature living in it. Oh, I may be missing some social mores or be unaware of what king waged which war, but why nitpick?
No, I don't think so.
Waiting for a letter is tedious. What I have gone through is torture.
Don't be wanky.
Your history is an interminably dull list of mortals that were born, achieved nothing of worth, and then died. Certainly one may have expanded his kingdom, or another invented some way of pickling fish, but what does it matter? Where will your kingdoms be in 100 years? In 1,000? They will all be dust, along with each and every one of your great heroes.
Really?
Your people and nations come and go, mayflies screaming their importance at a universe that cannot listen. But the universe is always there. The laws that govern your states change over centuries, but the laws of the world... Even when my people walked this land, a dropped apple still fell to the ground.
Oh, excuse me, I need to turn on the light.
I have yet to see the mortal king that can decree all apples must fall up from their trees, or order fire to produce cold instead of heat. No, these laws stretch to infinity. Understanding them lets you understand the world. That is knowledge worth having. Everything else is arguing over who has built the prettiest sandcastle as the waves creep closer. I fell victim to the enemy of all great minds. Fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of change. These are the things that poison civilizations. I was on the cusp of a glorious breakthrough, but my king's fear held me back. I discovered a veil hanging across the universe. A barrier of pure source. It was amazing. The kind of discovery on which a civilization turns. Who knows what secrets may have been hidden behind that curtain? But my king forbade me from further investigation. Do you know, I never thought to ask. Between him purging me and casting me into a traitor's tomb. What a foolish oversight. If only I'd had your prescience and curiosity, I could have saved myself centuries of pondering that very question. Well, certainly he was not pleased with my insistence that we investigate. But the king's word is law. Was law. But the reason I was purged was slightly less intellectual. After the king refused to let me investigate the veil, I brought the issue up with others. The 7 lords. Beneath the king in authority, but far above me. I brought them my research. I showed them everything. I had hoped they would help me convince the king of his error, but before they or I could act, I was arrested and, well, my sentence was carried out. I mean, yes, I suppose you could have drained the power from it, but that would have weakened it significantly. It would be quite irresponsible. After all, the power of the thing is not the point. It hid something. Who knows what that might have been? The secrets to the universe could have lain behind that curtain, but I was not given the chance to find out.
Man.
Now, I fear I never will.
You really like word curtain? You said it 3 times already.
He ceased to be my king the moment he turned on me. I did nothing wrong. All I wanted was to further the knowledge of the Eternals. Who knows? Had I been allowed to continue my studies, perhaps I could have warded off whatever catastrophe befell them.
The skeleton stands quietly for a moment.
I'm not sure. Centuries in a tomb can warp one's memory. I remember the big things, of course. My library, my home, my king, my family. But the rest, it's all covered in a fog. And the more I see of this world, the thicker that fog seems to get. Once I would have boasted that it was the best form of government. Indeed, it was the only form of government we knew. Living forever under the rule of a wise king is one thing. But if that king should turn into a despot, if he should reject philosophy and the natural arts for the sake of power, well, I cannot imagine a worse torture. I was a scholar, researching the secrets of the universe. Had I been allowed to proceed, my people could have ascended to godhood as one. An entire race of deities, with a perfect understanding of the universe. It would have solved all of our problems. They came rather low in my life, alas. My wife and daughter always had to compete with my work for my attention, and my work was always stiff competition. They were often neglected. I wonder how many more years they spent neglected before, well, before whatever happened, happened. Indeed, you cannot. Nothing in this world compares to it. We crafted our homes from stone and crystal, using the power of the universe itself to keep them in place. Your people, on the other hand, seem quite content to sit about in smoky hovels, held together by straw and filth. It's a mercy I don't have a nose. I cannot imagine how you stand it. What would I do? Oh, dear heart, it is not a question of would. It is a question of what will I do. It is only fitting, after all. You worshipped the Eternals as gods. Why not follow one as divine? The Lady Armadia has laid out the plight of the world and begged me to help fix it. It is a grave responsibility, but one that I gladly accept. Yes, and how is that working out, I wonder? Perhaps if your precious Lucian had been a little less mortal, you would still have a divine, and the Voidwoken would not be trying to chew on my bones. Honestly, you turn your back for just a few millennia, and the world goes to stink. Just when I think that still. At least this is an interesting variation on well, of course it is. It was crafted with care. 100% ethically harvested from mortals, too. The quality is second to none. Oh, you simply wait until the creature is dead, preferably of natural causes. Although that does limit your choices somewhat. You may end up with quite a few sagging faces. I will never understand why you have so readily accepted aging, or digestion. They are frightful pastimes. Up to a point, certainly. They are frightfully loud, but the selection afterwards is quite good. The faces are often what you might call fixer-uppers, but they're young and quite serviceable, if you get them before the flies do. Poison is preferred, of course. No marks to the face, the subject can be of any age, and death is often quite peaceful. Not for them, of course, but it's significantly more relaxing for me. Just when I think still. At least this is an How many times must I tell you? I have business in the black...
Alright, alright.
Come on, let's keep moving. Well, I think I should focus on getting this demon out of my head. And of course, I think you should help me. And if we pick up a few new source tricks along the way, so be it.
Well now,
If Anne smiled.
Come on, let's keep moving. Ooh, double the fun. Maybe he can teach us a thing or two while he's digging up that demon. What, this old gaggle of weirdos? Oh, she's all right. A lot of bark, but I think she really cares about what we're doing. Better that than a sweetheart who'd sooner watch you walk off a cliff than shout, "Look out!" My kind of salty old crank. She certainly seems to want to help us. You don't get many of those in life. I've learned to appreciate them where I find them. I don't know about home, but I do sort of miss the gang I travel with now and then. Crawler, Madcap, Papa Joris for sure. Musicians mostly. We all had our own stories, our own troubles, but when we were together and the music was with us, it was like none of that mattered at all. When you have people like that around you, you know, a family, even rain feels like sunshine.
Yeah, it's great. What is this?
Red Prince, your majesty, you live. Oh, much have I prayed to Seven Blessed Solsticer that she would keep you safe. My praise is my pride, your highness. Many long hours I have passed here, waiting for your royal self to break through the smoke. I must speak with you, Red Prince. I must speak with you of Bramos the Wanderer. Indeed, great Prince, but...
He looks around the hazy room with hasted eyes.
The House of Shadows stirs. Seven curse them for their insolence. The Honorable Bramos, too, sensed them closing in. He had no choice but to flee from Driftwood. A little ways east he went, in search of safety, to an encampment of paladins. You will find him there, Majesty. And with that, I have told my tale. Prince of Princes, I am humbled and grateful.
He bows deeply, as reverently as one would before a god.
Nicely done.
I can't offer you more. Good to meet you, Governor. What's your poison then? A sip or a smoke? Take all the time you need. Pleasure doing business with you, Governor.
Governor. Mr. Governor. Do you know that?
Mercy,
Yeah.
mercy. Aye, so it is. But not just any Druidnay. Oh no. My own special blends. Further down's the arena, see? And the gladiators are always on the lookout for an edge. I give them that edge. You could say that my darling herbs flower in the flesh and blossom in the brain. So, if you're interested, Governor, all you have to do is use your imagination. How can I make you? No problem. In return for a reasonable donate.
Effie digs all kinds of outlandish herbs from out of the depths of many pockets and mixes them with the patience and skill of an alchemist.
Much obliged, Governor. And here's your blend. Just take it to that big beauty of a pipe over there and have a blast.
Smoke billows from this strange contraption. It's adorned with hoses, levers and slots.
What will it be?
Heaven save me. Oh, this leaf is strong.
Boss is busy. Loha, you've been living under a boulder. Stick around long enough and you will. Best to get on his good side early if you're new.
I think we'll get this smoke before the goddamn what's his name? The arena will be available.
Are you? Are you? No. Oh, pow!
Pow, pow, pow.
What do you want? Boss is Loha. You've been living... Stick around long enough and you will. Best to get on his good side early if you're new in town. Listen up. Don't waste his time. These are explosive times. Be respectful.
Marla's one of us.
I brought you up from girl to woman, Marla. Like you was my own. This...
Excuse me. Messages.
He lifts his right arm, showing a white bandage beneath his ribs. A wet red spot shows through.
This ain't the thanks I expected. Who sent you?
The formidable dwarf slams his fist on the side table. You hear a loud crack.
Enough! Do you know they killed Anhar? Do ya? Start talking sense or I'll take that tongue right out of your mouth and fry it for supper. Bart, Kate, get her to talk or bleed her out. She ain't one of mine anymore.
His sneer travels from the restrained dwarf to you.
And you. You better have a damn good reason for coming here. Brave lad, all sitting here now.
What did you think was gonna happen?
I hope for your sake you've got good news for me. Family matter. She's one of mine, acting like her brains are scrambled though. Came after me with a knife. Lucky for me, she caught an old wound. Scar slowed down the knife. So, how'd you make it out of Fort Joy? I've got people. They've got people. People talk. The Magisters never shut up long enough to listen. But me, I love a good story. Here's one I heard lately. A group of strangers landed on the beaches outside town. Meister Seaver's people. You one of her little seekers? Chasing down Godwoken and begging them to save us all. Alder's been telling us all kinds of this and that about Godwoken. Haven't seen any evidence of them myself. So no, I'm not convinced. We're swirling the drain. If someone doesn't plug it, we'll slip down easy as... So? What do you want? Reckon I do. Knowing Siva, she sent you looking for sorcerers, I bet. And it just so happens I can help you. Depending on what you can do for me.
He gestures towards the bandage across his side.
Had a bit of family trouble lately. My girl Marla got it in her head to come after me with a short blade. That ain't like Marla. Ain't like her to pull the silent treatment either. Something's going on. And wouldn't you know it, that blade she used wasn't any normal bit of steel. Belonged to another of my people. Guy's name is Mordus. Bit of a loner, but smart as hell. I sent a few guys to go check on him, see if he knew what had got into Marla, but no one can find him. I'd like a word with the guy. Glad you see it that way. No one's seen him in a good few. I've got some people checking out his house near the tavern now, though. Tell them I sent you, and they'll let you know what they've found. Good. One more thing. Like I said, Mordus is a sorcerer. Maybe even one of the ones Siva's after. If there's something you want to find out from him, you might want to ask before I have my word with him. Here, you can take this off my hands. More suited to your kind, really. Good luck. Better get out there before Mordus makes it all the way past Arcs.
Tell the truth now. Who was it that sent I heard rumour Mordus is working for the Order. What say you?
Better get out there before Mordus makes it all the way past Arcs.
We ain't gonna keep you around much longer.
I heard rumour Mordus is working for the Order. What say you? Come, sister. What did you think was gonna happen? Step off, lest you want a taste.
Leave me be, lizard. This traitor needs my...
The battered dwarf pulls her lips back into a garish, open-mouthed grin, flashing blood-stained teeth.
We ain't gonna keep you around much longer.
If you ask me, the fact that Murga caught a Voidwoken just proves she's using dirty tricks.
So many different stuff.
The arena should be for good, honest fighters, not...
This is the arena, yeah. It's not a time for arena. I talked with everyone, I think.
I've spotted something.
Strange thing. Strange thing. Ooh. Where are we?
The cook acknowledges you with a small bow, an oddly formal gesture given the surroundings.
Please, sir, you should not be back here. It's not safe. Cinnamon, not nutmeg. There's a food shortage in these parts. Fresh meat can be hard to come by. Liberal seasoning helps disguise all sorts of sins. Now, please, I must return to my work. Sharp knives, boiling liquids, sharp tempers. Don't underestimate the dangers here. Now, please, I must insist.
I've spotted something.
This ring, it bears the Magister's seal. And there's blood on it.
Please, I must insist you keep out of my kitchens. It's...
She nods an uninterested greeting.
Here for the fight? This is a tavern. People are drinking. Eventually there'll be a fight. You planning on starting one? Pity. Well, like...
She doesn't...
Здорово, Димон. Как твои дела? Че, не стримишь? Губы Путина.
What's this? I found something. It's real. It bears the Magister's seal. And there's blood on it.
prim woman in a starched apron wipes a glass with a clean rag. She pins you with blue, steel-sharp eyes as you approach the bar.
Blessings upon our Lucian, 7 times divine.
The soft lines of her face fold into a warm smile. She sets the glass on the counter and pours you a generous portion of an amber liquor.
I see your mother raised you very well indeed. Rare for a lizard, but all the more impressive. You and my nails might even get along. What brings you to Driftwood, darling? Yes, that's my boy. Did you know him? Finest physician in all of Reaper's Coast. Top of his class. My, but it's been too long since I've seen him. A fine physician indeed. That's my boy. Some say all a growing child needs is food and sunshine. I say abstinence and chastity will grow him finer than either one of those. Oh, but it's so good to meet a friend of Niall's. Here, have a little something to eat. Niall's favourite, you know. No one in our little town can appreciate work so fine as his, you know. All his instruments and books are stored away upstairs, all but forgotten. It's such a terrible waste. Well, I'd love to show you, but I'm afraid I can't leave the bar unattended. This crowd isn't to be trusted, believe you me. But I suppose, well, there's no harm, is there? You seem to be a good sort. One of Lucian's own, isn't that right? Here, take this key and head on up the stairs. You'll find Niall's room there. He'd want to know his fine things weren't languishing unappreciated in his old room.
Wait a second. Is there option for gown collection? Yeah. Nice. Because the game looks dark.
Careful.
Look out!
I've spotted a trap.
I see a trap nearby.
No, that was too much.
What the devil are you staring at?
As you approach the silken robe,
Seems less lush somehow. Doesn't this room strike you as it?
I know this man, and he's not at all what he seems. A moment.
Iffan bounds forward and embraces the man, all effusive greetings. As they part, talking animatedly, the man's beard slips sideways down his face. He's wearing a disguise. Iffan laughs as he straightens the beard. They chatter away for some time, using a guttural cant you struggle to understand. At one point, the man says something and looks over at you intently. Iffan waves his hand and laughs. The man hunkers down and seems to be sketching a rough map on the floor, using an apple, some playing cards, and a fistful of threads pulled up from the carpet. Iffan claps the man on the back and turns to leave.
Well, now we know the way to the sawmill. And we know Roost thinks I'm bringing you there as part of the Godwoken contract.
The trickster formerly known as Callow stands in battle. The trickster formerly known as Cano stands in...
No. Wait a second.
But, of course, I should hold my tongue and stand guard. All's well as long as my lord's coffers are safe.
Ah, you know how it is. Pretend you own the place and a surprisingly large number of people just go along with it. But I won't lie, the beard does go down well with the ladies.
Better watch yourself, lad.
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy. You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard? Then you're an idiot. It's as lush as it's always been. Now train your eyes on my treasures, not my person.
Yes, my lord.
Curiosity kills the cat, gets it sent to Fort Joy. You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard? Then you're an idiot.
The chest won't open.
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy. You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard? You're an idiot.
Weathered and rugged, the man sleeps soundly. He mumbles in his slumber.
There's bad things in the caves. Bad dwarf things.
Startled, he opens his eyes, but he's staring into the distance. He's still asleep.
Blood and oil do mix, after all.
His eyes flicker open, but he looks like he's still asleep.
The island is ruined and doesn't have a name. Don't go there.
His eyes flick wide open, but he's clearly asleep.
There's no graveyard on the island. Stay away from the graveyard.
His eyes open, but he doesn't see you.
Sawdust and wolves, Mother. Sawdust and wolves.
His eyes flick wide open, but he's clearly asleep.
Arcs for Lucian's Day sounds nice, Mother.
Startled, he opens his eyes, but he's staring. His eyes flick wide open.
Leave my...
He goes back to sleep.
Then you're an idiot. What do you want, reptile? Huh. I want another beer and a bowl of stew. Which of us is more likely to get what they want, do you think? Guess that makes me a sinner. Perhaps you can help us settle an argument. Thatcher here is one of my dearest friends, but she isn't the brightest.
Thatcher grins hello.
Our mate Boris got posted to Fort Joy for consorting with lizards, and Thatcher here still fancies a turn around the park with Loverick's lizard. I say she'd be sleeping with the enemy. What say you?
They look at you expectantly. Thatcher looks victorious. Eden looks annoyed.
You're as bad as she is. Get lost then, you're no use to me.
Eden turns back to her drink. Thatcher smiles.
Curiosity kills the cat.
She tips you a wink, then turns away.
And you can't be too careful, you know? If I can get Alexander, I can get any of us.
This is more like it.
A weathered woman in a dirty sea captain's tunic babbles breathlessly to herself.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn. And I without my compass. The ship is in the locker, on the bottom in the rocky shallows, and all are drowned but me. And yet, can you hear? The bell rings on. The bell haunts me yet, and it would drive me mad. Perhaps I am already mad. But I swear I hear the bells. Please, make it stop.
She buries her head in her hands and cries.
Make it stop.
A ghostly seaman stares at the captain, his lip curled in a malevolent grin, his eyes wide with hate, and all that...
second. But in the end, I think I will kill all the magisters in that driftwood town. Yeah, I will kill all of them. But later.
This is more like it. This room has standards.
A weathered woman in a dirty sea captain's tunic.
You've got a pick who you can trap.
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy.
And I'm
You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one
Tell
night with a
stories I have
lizard.
in the campus. Let these scrubs
You're an idiot.
chop those
If I
through
can
the
get
word.
Alexander.
Campus lies in the rocky shallow with a peacemaker. Her dead crew. The bell rings a warning, yet though the wreck by many miles from here over the hills and the bluffs. A small intel in the shadow of the keep, with rocky shallows athwart the beach, and a draw too low for us. I walk the woods to
Curiosity
make
kills
it
the
back
cat,
to port
or gets
through
it
the
sent to Fort
fearful
Joy.
forest with their harrows screaming, and the
You're willing to
racket
risk
pain
Fort
I
Joy for
almost
one
think
night with a
about.
lizard.
Though it drove me on the same for
Then you're an
blocking out the
idiot.
night. The peacemaker lies wrecked along the coast, another one for the reaper. The Tatterans night without my compass. God bless this infernal bell.
You've got a pick who you can trust.
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And I'm
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets
can
it
see a
sent to
silver
Fort
from a
Joy.
mile away. And you can't be too careful.
You're willing
you
to
know?
risk Fort
If I can
Joy
get
for
Alexander.
one night with a lizard. Then you're an
Right
idiot.
about that. Right as rain, Hilka.
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn. And the ship is at... And yet... Can you hear? Perhaps...
She buries her.
Make it...
Then you're an idiot.
Hard a port. Can't you hear the bells are ringing?
A ghostly seaman.
Spoke to the lady captain, didn't you? I seen you scale skin cozying up. Are you with her, or sail you with us?
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And I'm saying you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful.
I'm doing my duty here, I am. I'm the lookout, and I'm ringing the bell. Rocks ahead, Captain. There's no lighthouse here. Rocks ahead! Ha 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 ha!
His lip.
Rocks ahead!
The bell. She babbles breath.
The bell rings.
Got a pick and you can trust. Curiosity.
You got that right,
Or gets it sent to Fort Joy. And I'm saying, you can... Fort Joy for one night with a lizard. Too careful.
Hard report. Can't you hear
Well
the
now,
bells are ringing?
how's...
Ivan smiles and... A ghostly seaman stares at the captain, his lip curled in a malevolent grin, his eyes wide with hate, and all the time...
Spoke to the lady captain, didn't you? I seen ya scale. I'm doing my duty here, I am. I'm the lookout and I'm on duty here. There are rocks ahead and the...
He blinks once, twice. A single salty tear drips from one ghostly eye. The bell falls silent. He raises a finger to his temple in salute and fades away.
Well now, how's my favorite...
Ivan smiles.
Wait a second. Yeah, I'm back.
Rocks ahead, Captain. You hear me?
A ghostly seaman stares at them.
Who rings the bell?
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy.
Spoke to the lady captain, didn't you? I'm doing my duty here, I am. And I'm on duty.
He blinks once. He raises... She babbles breathlessly on, barely aware you're there.
My ears are still a-ringing. And I have you to thank for it? Then thank you, I surely do. That accursed bell lies with the Peacemaker, on the bottom in the rocky shallows. My compass lies there too. The compass surely lies on the bottom, near where the ship was wrecked. Take it with my blessing, if you can find it. My sailing days are done. Let me mark your chart. But you be warned. Stay off the wreck itself. Let her lie as a monument to her dead crew. and as testament to my mistake.
She goes white as the proverbial ghost.
You've got no call to go looking for no cargo. Far as anyone's concerned, we sailed with an empty hold, and if there's anything left to salvage, you leave it where it is. Heed me. Leave the cargo of the Peacemaker alone.
She turns away.
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy. You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard? Then you're an idiot.
You've got to pick who you can trust.
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And I'm saying you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know? If they can get Alexander, they can get any of us.
You're right about that.
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy. You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard? Then you're an idiot.
Restore 86 virality. Alright then.
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy.
Shut the fuck up.
You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard? Then you're an idiot.
It can be picked up. Alright.
Right about that. Right as rain, Hilka.
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy. You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard? Then you're an idiot.
The man sleeps on. He goes...
So many things to do in this town.
I doubt a reptile could appreciate the beauty of Barstan's gentle melodies. I consider myself fortunate to be carried to paradise by his silken voice.
You have interrupted my newest masterpiece!
The bard clears his throat and gargles on his own saliva. He then returns to his poem, but his voice cracks mid-verse.
Well, never you mind. Every sonnet I compose is a masterpiece, and my muse has been begging me to write something new. Wait! You might be just the stimulus I needed. I shall craft a rhyme for you and your race. All I ask in return is a handful of coins. It's an offer of a lifetime. Normally I'd argue with you, but you do have a certain look about you. Very well. But if I am to write a first-rate work, you must face some difficult questions. Are you prepared to answer?
Excuse me.
He stares at you for a few torturing moments.
Let's cut to the chase, lizard. Your kind has built an empire on the backs of slaves, reaping the rewards of the innocent's toil. Do you condemn your kin?
He smiles a crooked smile and runs a hand through his greasy hair.
It isn't just slaves that suffer, though, is it? You eternally seek perfection, though offer no room in the creaking empire machine to the sage or the savant. What say you? This superiority complex, this haughtiness, so cold. Others see you for what you truly are. Monsters. Loveless, heartless, ruthless. You know it to be true.
The bard hems and haws, then bellows his next words to anyone who might hear.
To all lovers of verse, I bring glorious news. I have completed another modern classic. Listen now, and bask in its resounding refrain. An empire built upon the backs of slaves does not deserve the faintest breath of praise. Eternally, the servants toil and sweat, yet cannot extricate themselves from debt. When genius is average, the tree always rises. Ambition is all, a life of few surprises. The time has come to ease their daily grind and insist their hearts to overwhelm their minds. An empire built upon the backs of slaves does not deserve the... You must be delighted by my newest ode. Oh, fame, notoriety, neither, or both? Wonderful. But I must ask some uncomfortable questions. It's your call. Empire built upon the backs of slaves.
He fixes you with a stare, looks you up and down, weighs you up, the cut of your cloth, the weight of your bag. A moment passes. Then a smile creases his face, a smile carefully constructed to look friendly and authentic, a smile that doesn't reach his eyes.
Greetings, my lord. Looking to ease the pain of a decaying world? You're in the right place. Beers are ordered at the bar, but can I interest you in a nourishing bowl of stew?
He purses his lips. His fingers drum a pattern on his elbow as he assesses you. A lascivious smile spreads across his face. His tongue darts from his mouth to lick the spittle from his lips.
Let me ask you this. Across the world, who is renowned above all others for their exquisite love-making abilities? My dear Prince, I'm sure this is true. But I believe one of your kin is even more talented than your good self. And for an insignificantly small sum, I can make the introductions.
He holds out his hand. The money vanishes into his apron.
Now, let me ask you this. What flavour of stew do you prefer? Do you like the strong and meaty variety? Upstairs on the second floor. Her name is Zara. Pleasure is her business. Enjoy the experience of a lifetime.
He gives you a mischievous grin, then dips his head in salute and turns away.
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy.
You've got to pick who you can trust.
You're willing to risk Fort Joy
You
for
got
one
that
night
right,
with a
Helga.
lizard?
You got that right.
Then you're an idiot.
And I'm saying, you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away.
Yeah, man, I will.
A lizard, tall and beautiful, turns towards you. She fixes you with a
We'll see,
sultry
we'll see
look,
how
and
it
when she
goes.
speaks, it's like listening to honeyed smoke.
I'm so glad you came, but your friends will have to leave.
She turns her back on you and waits for your companions to leave.
Alright, alright. Let's give him some time.
A lizard, tall and beautiful, turns towards you. She fixes you with a sultry look, and when she speaks, it's like listening to honeyed smoke.
I'm so glad you've come. Are you here to water my flowers?
I know, maybe you're kind of perverse.
I've been so lonely since my man went away to fight the coming war. I need someone to take care of me. You're so masculine, darling. Won't you take care of me? Come on over here, big boy, and I'll tell you
She bats her eyelashes.
what I'm thinking.
Holding your gaze, a shadow of a smile playing on her lips, she reaches for the clasp of her robe. You reach her, and she unfastens it. Then, quite deliberately, she lets it fall.
Oops. Take me.
She smiles, takes you by one manicured hand. With the other, she strokes your cheek, traces a line down your neck to your collarbone and your clothes. Slowly, she undresses you, then takes you to bed. Your world explodes in pleasure.
That's it. That's how it's done. in
You
real
wake
life.
into what still seems to be a dream. The scent of home, the perfume you've always associated with her, the woman you've dreamt of since birth. You blink, and there she really is. Not the person you thought you went to bed with, but she, the Red Princess.
Really?
Despite a sense of deep belonging, despite the rapture of your bodies so very close together, you dread the possibility even this might be nothing but a mirage. Her only reply is a smile as radiant as 1,000 suns. Her lips part as if to speak, but the words that reach you seem to echo from a celestial distance.
Come find me. Come be with me.
You reach for her, but there's no one to be touched, and your heart sinks when you realize she's an apparition after all. Next, a flash of magic, and she's gone.
Yes, I will find you. I will be with you.
He gives you his mischievous grin.
I did promise you the experience of a lifetime. Red skin. Are you sure you didn't do anything funny with a wig and a mirror? I know no red-skinned lizard, but your honoured self.
It was a kind of strange experience.
Saucer on the genius is average.
Arguing with Mac.
I accept. Ambition is full. A light. Well, I'll be. Very well. Ah, finally. Your colleague over there is absolutely useless. I'll have a bowl of the house stew, if you please. Oh, pity. I've been trying to get a little something to eat all day. But the giggleheads who run this establishment don't seem to be willing to provide a fellow with his fair portion. After all I've been through, too.
He lowers his gaze, then looks up at you expectantly. His lip trembles dramatically.
It's my mentor. My dear mentor. He was killed by those void beasts. I told him we ought not to travel in the hills, but would he listen? No. Now here I sit, my closest companion gone, our precious cargo worth more than Lucian's right ring, lost to the beast-infested wilds.
So many quests. So many quests.
And the waiter won't even bring me any stew. Oh, then perhaps my luck has changed. Yes, perhaps this awful business might soon be behind me. Tell me, how are you in, well, Void Woken?
Oh, give me a second, guys. Oh, guys, sorry, I need to play with my friend. So, see you around sometime. Thank you for watching.